morning. Happy Tuesday, class. Welcome to another day of ratios. Today we're going to be learning about word problems to do with ratios. So if you could grab your textbook and open it up to page 77, we're going to be starting with question number 5, and we're going to do some examples together on the board before I send you off to do your own exercise. So I'll show you how to work on these and the strategies that you can use when you're solving your word problems too. Okay? So let's get started. So question 5 tells us the ratio of the length of ribbon A to the length of ribbon B is 7:4. If ribbon A is 21 meters long, find the length of ribbon B. So, in the thought bubble, it says 7:4 means 7 units to 4 units. So this is where our units are going to be really helpful. And remember, we've been finding units before with our fraction problems, so we're going to continue to use units to help us understand these ratio problems too. Okay? So we're going to start, and the textbook tells us this. 7 units is 21 meters. And we know this because A, with the ratio of 7:4, is 21 meters, because this is a 7 and this is a 4, obviously. Okay, which means that 1 unit we have to find. So in order to find 1 unit, we're going to divide 21 by 7, which equals 3. So now we know that 1 unit equals 3 meters. So now what we have to do is find our 4 units, because that is what the question is asking us. So when you're reading this question, all your word problem questions, make sure you know what the question is asking you. In this case, it's asking us for the length of B, which we know is 4 units long, because we've got 4 squares in our bar that we've drawn, and because the ratio is 7:4. Okay, so now in order to go from 1 unit to 4 units, we need to do 1 unit, 3 times 4, which equals 12 meters. And of course, with word problems, we have our sentence at the end. So the length of ribbon B is 12 meters. All right, so that's our first problem. So now we're going to flip the page and keep going. Okay, so question 6, which I've got here in the middle, tells us CT and Mary shared $35 in a ratio of 4:3. How much money did CT receive? So this problem is different from this one because it gives us the total. Okay, so instead of using one of the bars to find the units, we need to combine the bars together. So we're going to make our total for $35 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 units. And you can see that the textbook has done that for us as well. So 7 units is $35. Okay? So again, the reason we know that is because it's given us the total. It tells us the total of everything, even though the ratio is 4:3. So you can see that we've just added 4 and 3 together this time because it's the total. So now again, we're going to do the same thing, and we're going to get down to 1 unit, which 35 divided by 7 is 5. Okay, so 1 unit is $5. Okay, and now it's asking us how much money CT had, and CT is the one that has 4 units. Okay, so that's what we're going to need to get to. And again, to get from here to here, we're going to do 5 times 4. Okay, so 4 units is $20. Okay, and then our sentence at the end, CT received $20. All right, so do you see how that works? Okay, so now let's look at the last one. So the ratio of the weight of package X to the weight of package Y is 5:3. If the weight of package X is 40 kilograms, find the total weight of the 2 packages. Okay, so we've got some key information here. So they've given us 1 set, so the ratio is 5:3, and they've given us the value for 5, which means we know that 5 units is this X of 40 kilograms. And now we need to be careful what the question's asking us, because it's asking us for the total weight, which means we're not looking for 3 more units, although you could do it that way if you wanted to. We're looking for 8 units because altogether we have 8 units. So we're going to go from 1 to 8. Unless, and this is okay because word problems, you can find your own way to solve them. If you wanted to, you could find 3 units and then you have to add it to this one. Okay? But the one last step would be to just go straight to 8 units, just so you know. Okay? So, again, in order to get from 5 units to 1 unit, we need to divide 40 by 5, which is 8, okay? So 1 unit is 8 kilograms, okay? And in order to get to 8 units, we need to do 8 times 8, because that's 1 unit times 8, which is 64 kilograms. Okay, so the total weight is 64 kilograms. Okay, so your task for today is to do exercise 36 in your workbook. This is on page 86 and 87. And I want you to try and use this method to solve the equations, okay? You're going for units, and make sure that when you're reading the question very carefully, you know how many units there are total or how many you've been given, right? So in this case, you were given the total, which is 7 units, but in this case, you were given 1 bar, which happened to also be 7 units. So make sure you're reading the questions carefully so that you can find your answer. So have fun!